Oceanside students. We're so excited. Thank you. We are grateful for you to be here, and we are glad that you're here to celebrate in this event, the very first of its kind. How many parents do we have in the house? Parents, raise your hand. How about educators in the house? How many educators do we have? Nice. Is there any business owners here today? What about city council people? People that are elected officials here today? How about students? Do you have any students in the house? Nice. Students over here. If you're in middle school, make some noise. Middle school? If you're in high school, make some noise. If you're in elementary school, make some noise. We'll give the students a big round of applause. It is amazing to have community here today. We're going to get to know each other a little bit more, and in a moment what's going to happen is when I say the word go, we're all going to stand up, we're going to walk around this room, and we're going to meet 3 people we don't know. We're going to let them know our name, where we're from, and something that we're looking forward to today. So everyone please stand up. And and welcome Courtney Romaine from Ocean Shores High School, who's going to lead us in the national anthem.
Oceanside staff, community, business volunteers, parents. When I wasn't expecting to speak. I just wanted, like many people know, I will always go to the back, and I always kind of watch from the back, and that's kind of where I like to sit. And Margaret spotted me, and Sparky brought me up, and she said, "You have 1 minute." And I said, "I'm going to take a little bit more than 1 minute or 2 minutes. Because I may get nervous at events, I may get nervous getting ready to speak. When I talk about our kids, and I talk about Oceanside, I'm not nervous. Because there's many of us who stand for what Oceanside represents. And there's many of us in this room that want the best for Oceanside. And it's really got to start, and it's got to sustain itself. And so, a year and a half ago, a kid from Oceanside, we've been blessed to become the superintendent of the town that he grew up in, gets invited to the White House. How does that happen to a kid from Oceanside? A week later, I find out about the Community Alliance for Youth Success, and then something about this Youth Success Week. And then I knew Bobby McCorder was behind it, and I adore Bobby. I've always told Bobby, whatever you need, Bobby, I'll always be there for you. So we had a meeting, and my secretary, my executive assistant runs out and says, "Dwayne, do you know who's going to be at that meeting?" I said, "I know Bobby's going to be there." She says, "Dwayne, Stedman Graham is going to be at the meeting." I said, "Stedman Graham? That's Stedman?" She said, "Yes." And in my head, I'm thinking, how does a kid from Oceanside, who's lucky enough to be the superintendent in the town he grew up, talking about the Youth Success Week. And I had not talked to Bobby or anybody really about the Oceanside Promise. And as I listened, all I kept thinking was, this is just what the Oceanside Promise needs. And so as I listened to them talk, and in that meeting was Bobby Recorder, Stephanie Graham, Dr. Kim Bruck, Louisa, where's Louisa? She was in that meeting. And I talked about the promise. And the next thing I knew, I saw Louisa and Ken and Stephanie down at the end of the table trying to figure out what the promise could do and how it would be figured out. And Stephanie leaned over and says, I want in. This could work. This could be replicated just like Youth Success. And so what I'm asking you all is, after yesterday, I was so overwhelmed. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. But after yesterday, and seeing almost 900 people in that gym, and seeing Sparky, and you'll see Sparky, demanding, and in a very respectful way, these kids, these adults were engaged this entire time. When I couldn't contain my passion. But it was when I got off the stage, I almost had to go into another room because I was overwhelmed. You know, I say a kid from Oceanside. As the Oceanside Promise gets to that point, and it will get there, where 100% of our students graduate college and career. 100% of our students, if they go to Maricosta, Palomar, Cal State San Marcos, their education will be paid for. 100%. And if you know me, I'm dead serious about that. But here's some things that need to change. When that happens, 100% of those kids, that, me being surprised that I'm a kid from Oceanside, that needs to change. It's going to change to, of course it's a kid from Oceanside. That's why he got invited to the White House, because he's from Oceanside. Of course it's a kid from Oceanside. He's from Oceanside. Of course they discovered on a pure cancer. They're from Oceanside. So that what I need is for you all to believe that it's going to happen. And if you were there yesterday, with all those kids, and I want to invite, can I get those kids up bucket real quick? Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah. Come on up here, guys. kids. Every classroom, got to make sure all of our teachers and administrators at every classroom, and it happened. And so I'd like to introduce now Margaret Mallett.
District teachers. Our teachers pour their heart and soul into our kids. Would you please give it up for our Oceanside Unified teachers? They are on the front lines every day. I sent out an email, or asked the principals to send out an email to have every single teacher in the district select 4 students from your class to be a Blue Ribbon Ambassador. All 4 students that registered got to participate. 8 hours, these kids, 750 students, sat in a training yesterday, and they had exemplary behavior. They were positive, they were supportive, they talked about their dreams, they talked about when they were bullied, they talked about when they were the bully. They took ownership for it. They shared their dreams, and the whole audience supported their dreams in coming true. And that was all because of the Oceanside Unified School District teachers pouring their heart and soul into these kids so that they can become audacious leaders of excellence. One more time, please give it up for my colleagues. I'm so grateful. So about 4 months ago, we were at a case meeting, and we were like, okay, how are we going to engage the students and parents and families in Youth Success Week? So I'm like, that's what I'm about. I want to be the coordinator of that group, right? So we brainstormed, and we came up with, you know what? We're going to have 2 representatives from every school in Oceanside come and meet with us 4 times, once a month, over the next 4 months. So starting in September, October, November, December, we had about 50 students and families that came and participated in the Youth Success Ambassador program. And we enrolled the students to be roving reporters. They were given an Oceanside Promise notebook. And they were asked to interview as many students as they could on 3 questions. What is success? What obstacles get in my way? And what support do I need? And how many students did you end up interviewing, Charlie?
About 30.
Yeah, but how much did everybody? Do you know the number? 400 students and parents were interviewed on what is success to you, what obstacles do you face, and what support do you need. And then they came back and they reported their findings, and they shared them with us, and we we've shared them with the Board of Education, and we're going to be sharing them with principals and teachers, because we need to give our youth a voice for change. And we need to listen to what that is for them. I have to share with you that we had 749 4th through 12th grade students yesterday. We had one second grade student who participated in the Youth Success Ambassador Program and wanted to participate in the Blue Ribbon Ambassador Program. And his name is Liam Pham. Please give it up for Liam Pham right here. Which is speak with good purpose. And they are 20, so they are going in their classrooms tomorrow morning, and they're going to train their class in the Blue Ribbon ceremony. And 20,000 students in Oceanside will receive a blue ribbon that says, "Who I am makes a difference." They will receive 2 other ribbons to pay it forward and acknowledge other people in their family and in their community. And then they're going to ask those people that they honor to honor somebody else. Tomorrow, 60,000 people will be honored in Oceanside with a blue ribbon that says, "Who I am makes a difference." And that's because of the founder and creator, Sparky Halise Bridges. Please give it up for Sparky. Students, thank you so much. You rock. We are done, so you can go ahead and exit over there.
Kate's mission is Kate's co-founder, Mrs. Stephen Graham. Let's give a good round of applause.
me and you all the time. Did a great job. Fantastic. I am so glad to be able to share this humility with Bobby Laporte. So thank you for all your leadership and what you do. You know, we for 3 years have utilized her space, and she's put out food and made us all feel so welcome. So you're just so special. Thank you so much. And Dwayne, thank you for. Thank you for your leadership, because without your team and Margaret and Chris and all of them who supported us during the year, we probably wouldn't be this far. So you've made a huge difference, and thank you for your leadership. Appreciate it. And all the K's members, it's been a pleasure getting to know everybody as friends and as co-workers and as colleagues. It's been a pleasure. You know, no one makes it alone. No man or woman is an island unto themselves. And it's like one of the students over here said that you cannot make it by yourself. You need a team. Nobody is that strong. And you need support. And you need a family. And you need leadership at the school board. And you need a strong base. And you need education. We know what it costs when the community doesn't do well. What's it cost when you do nothing? What's it cost us? What's it cost us when you have a 57% dropout rate in Chicago public schools? Where are you from? What's it cost us? Everything. What's it cost us when you have crime all over the place? What's it cost us? What's it cost? What's it cost when you do nothing? What's it cost us when you have people that don't have jobs, when you have a high unemployment rate? What's it cost you when the middle class moves backwards? What's it cost you when you don't know who you are and you're confused? What's it cost you when you only have a single parent in a home? What's it cost us? It costs a lot of money. And it's out of control. 21st century is going away. It's going this way. Where is everybody else going? Backwards. And so, to me, this is the 21st century model. If you don't get this model, what's it going to cost us? What's it going to cost your family? Your children, your nieces, your nephews, who will not have a chance because they're not skilled. They may be qualified to work, but they're not skilled. This is not the information age anymore. This is a what? This is a skill-based society. Skill-based. And so what we're trying to do, what we have been trying to do for 3 years, has it been 3 years? 3 years of coming here meeting all the time to do what? To organize a community that is sustainable, that will work for a long period of time based on what? Based on education of the young people. If you do not educate the young people, we can predict the outcome. We already see it. With ISIS. Most of those people who are doing what? Destroying the world are doing what? What do they look like? They're young people. And so if you want to have a quality of life, come out to San Diego, I love it out here. Come out to Oceanside, I love it. You got the beach down here, you got the ocean down here, you got the air. I was in China not too long ago. You keep going to China, you can't breathe in China and Beijing. And you got all of this. And the only way you can protect all of this is do what? You have to educate young people and make sure they're what? are qualified to take over. Because we can predict your outcome if it does not happen. You can't get a job, you're not educated, you can't read. What's going to happen? You can't take care of your families. You can't even take care of yourself. You'll have no voice. You'll be a slave for the rest of your life, waiting for somebody to tell you everything to do. You can't take care of your family. You have no future. If we don't take care of what? Y'all. If y'all drop out today, there's no job for you. You don't get an education today, you have no money. You can't travel. You can't get out. And so this is what CASE is all about. This is why we come together. We want to create a what? A model that works for all youth around where? Around the country. We can. I don't know if we can or cannot. I know this. It's going to cost you if you do nothing. And so we're here every single day to do what? We're trying to build a model so that what? We can create opportunities for our young people. And it kind of, I got a proverb from a Chinese proverb I want to read so I can sit down. Because I can get a little winded there. And I love this, and I think this is what we're talking about. It says, if there is light in the soul, there will be beauty in the person. If there is beauty in the person, there will be harmony in the house. If there is harmony in the house, there will be order in the nation. If there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. Thank you for the opportunity.
The students will do performances about the APs, maybe a song or a rap. The library has programs on youth success that are also being done on the weekends. And then every night there will be a town hall where everyone is invited.
It's really important for the business community of Oceanside to get involved in youth success group. When the youth of Oceanside are learning the 8 keys of excellence, they need real life business experience to put it into practice. But you need to get involved in helping us do that.
The best part of it is the adults there with the students interacting. Over the week, the keys will become part of students, part of community members, and it creates a common language for us to interact with each other. It really is about bringing the city together in a sense of belonging.
When you can have a case come in and organize the community, you can turn negative environments around to be positive, and the community can produce successful people. The people have to be able to make that happen.
What we need is to get the message out, because people want to be involved when they hear that. We're inviting our community to step forward with expertise to this wonderful cause.
Our kids are our future, and we need to take responsibility to help make that future as bright as it can possibly be. And if we all do that, that's when the change happens.
You're looking at a kid from Oceanside. Leaders come in all shapes and sizes. They just need the opportunity.
That's what CASE is all about. A community where young people can have a strong, successful life.
CASE is giving youth a voice for change. Oceanside schools. So that's really exciting. There's over 20 presenters that are volunteering their time to do this. So it'll make quite an impact of what's happening. You know that it affects not only the students, but the parents and community members. So there's tens of thousands of people that are going to. I keep thinking about how this all comes together and the impact at the end of this week and what it means for our community. So it is truly a big vision, not only for Oceanside, but the plan is to write it up as a blueprint and a model and take it to other communities, to inspire other communities, so that it is a movement to support youth success. So very excited about that. And each day of Youth Success Week is themed on one of the 8 keys of excellence. And today happens to be This Is It key. So this is it, is make the most of every moment. And I think about making the most of the entire week because it's up to each one of us to show up to events, to tell friends, and be really involved in all that's happening because there's so much that's happening this week, and make it happen. So we define, and the dictionary actually, defines excellence as good qualities in a high degree. Think about it. So it's about building a core inside of us, a strong core of good qualities. It's a strong core of excellence. So excellence is ongoing. It's about giving our best effort as we strive for our goal. So when you look around the room, if you look around the room, would you say that there is one group of excellent people here? Would you say that? Around. Oceanside is a community of excellence with the commitment of many community members throughout the city. A community of excellence. And when you're a community of excellence, people gravitate towards you. A community coming from excellence attracts people and you want to be here. And that's what it's about. So the 8 keys are principles to live by. And they create and form our character. So the stronger we live our principles, the stronger our character. So it's ongoing. The keys create a guidance set of principles that we follow that creates a life of excellence. So we're going to learn the keys and define them. And we're going to be using our bodies. We love to use our bodies. And it's about using motion and attach each key to a location on our body. We'll start from our head and go down to our feet. And it's a memory system for learning content when you use this. So we know that there's a lot of science between the brain-body connection, but it's moving your body. So I'll be asking you to participate and to move as we do this. If you want to step forward.
Values in all you do and say. Be sincere and real.
So integrity is about matching our behaviors with our values. So if you put one hand up in the air and take your other and write the letter B on it for behavior. And put your other hand up and write the letter B for values. And you put them together when they're aligned, you're in integrity. We'll start with our head. So the first key is what? Integrity. Wonderful. The second key is?
Failure leads to success. Learn from mistakes. View failures as feedback that provides you with the information you need to learn, grow, and succeed.
So the body motion for failure leads to success if you touch your nose. And to remember, you can think of the sweet smell of success. So it's failure leads to success. It's a powerful key that it changes how we look at mistakes so that we're always learning and growing and participating. So the key is what? Failure leads to success. And the next key is?
Speak with good purpose. Speak honestly and kindly. Think before you speak. Make sure your intention is positive and your words are sincere.
So speak with good purpose. The body motion is this, so do it with me and say, speak with good purpose.
Speak with good purpose.
All right, and the next key is?
This is it. Focus your attention on the present moment. Keep a positive attitude.
So this is it, key of the day, and it's having a positive attitude. So do a chin up and say, this is it.
This is it.
This is it. And the first key is what?
Integrity.
How's it going? We're blessed and thankful to be here. I am the founder of Movement B. Our mission is to tell your story before they do. It happened when there was an incident years ago when I was graduating from the University of Southern California. I was put in handcuffs. 70+ LAPD officers showed up to my house. Meanwhile, across the street there was another party going on, mainly by white party goers. Who were my friends? They were told to stay in the house and be safe while they would handle us over here. In riot gear and being in handcuffs, this was the first time where I felt I was a criminal, when someone was telling the story for me. Instead of reacting, I decided to be proactive. I came back to San Diego and started a group called Movement B to inspire young people from my community to tell their story before someone else does. As we're working with Youth Success Week in K's and building a model, we know it is important that in order to sustain a movement, we have to educate children. If you want to plant rice, plant for a year. If your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. If you're planning for 100 years, educate children. It's so important that we tell our story. Our poetry is the voice of the unacknowledged world. We're speaking for those who often aren't heard. We always talk about giving students a platform. Well, we have the platform here for the students. Now we need to hear them. Without further ado, I want to share with you guys what we did for the 8 Keys of Excellence. We all did individual poems based off these keys. Without further ado, I'll stop speaking and introduce you to Movement B. Thank you.
Integrity. Integrity. Being real. Movement B. Let me break this down. The way you move is how people are going to look at you, so move with diligence. The way you treat people shows us your real values, so treat others with kindness. The way you talk to people shows us your real thoughts, so speak with honesty. Let me break this down. When you're your true self, no one or nothing can stop you. I mean no one. Not your friends who criticize you but mean well. Not your family who wants the best for you and loves you but puts their own limitations on you. The shackles from the oppressor are broken. Let me break this down. Integrity is your inner sense of wholeness. It's what makes you or breaks you. Use the lessons and the values you've learned to let your light shine. Because if not, people will make assumptions and say that your character is tainted and that who you're acting like is a lie. No need to break this down. Integrity.
Failure leads to success. Failure leads to success, and I feel like I'm the prime example. Sometimes I have so much heart to handle that I question where did all the helping hands go. Feels like I'm getting nowhere fast. I always mess up just after my past because I know I got the drive, but I always seem to crash. I got a license to kill every obstacle attempting to blind me from my vision. And every pothole on the road to success allows me to prepare for what's next with more precision. I don't always make the best choices, and I'm full of regretful decisions that I observe, shut up and listen, learn from my mistakes to get back to the mission. Defeat is no excuse. That's how opportunity comes up missing. And I can always hear him knocking now because my roles help me envision that every mistake is a lesson learned. You have more to gain, so don't stress. Follow your imperfect thoughts and your flawed heart, because failure leads to success.
Speak with good purpose.
Speak with good purpose.
Speak with good purpose. Some people tell me that I'm worthless. Some say that I can't refrain from all of the traumatic pain, but what we do affects everyone. Sometimes it drives people insane because words have a message, and that message is clear that no matter what happens today, the message behind it is real. So even with what happens, with what you were saying isn't reality, it drives these people off the edge. I'm taking off the edge with a pencil, paper, and a razor-sharp sledge of a mind. What you need to do is feel sublime. Believe in what you say. Don't let your thoughts and actions be separated. What we need is a combination, thought, action, and provocation, so that we can rebuild this God-forbidden nation. It's a social construct that begins with us. Let's do all that we can and let's work this. Let's rebuild this nation so let's speak with good purpose.
This is it. I let go of something bigger than me, and clenching my hands from the sky, I started
the possibilities you can find on the other side of the wall of doubt that's in your mind, instead of letting your fears keep you so trapped and confined to the same routine of never trying anything new, because this crazy idea might just fall through, and you'll never find out what could have happened if you do, because just standing still will never change your point of view. The best things come to those who take it, not just those who wait. Life is what you make it. It's about what you create. So know what you want, and then you can get it. Don't just sit with your toes in the water. Commit.
Ownership. Ownership. A silly concept, isn't it? By definition, it is the act, state, or right of possessing. My whole life, my father obsessing over this idea that if I'm truly confessing seems to more of a Christmas blessing, but hey, what the heck, I'm just guessing. I've never been good at addressing things I've been taught to think are missing. I mean, one's ownership. Responsibility, accountability, dependability, the things destroying the magical, fantastical, imaginability, the wings on our back, powered by dreams of invincibility, are severed with knives by the very same hands that command real life into our la la land. Our biggest ambition is falling through our fingers like sand, because this precept of ownership commanded by man only means that the overbearing genes of society are kept to our hands. We run and run as fast as we can, and as long as our feet are on land, we'll never fly. So as far as ownership goes, you can have it, that's fine. If you ask me, I'd say it doesn't really exist. In this place where numbers on a list, zeros and ones in a tiny computer chip, these days taking ownership should be taking hold of the wheel on your ship, but instead it's often only a passive resistance to the iron fist already steering it. Only to slightly lift your boat onto the sea. I look over the side of the boat and then watch my reflection in the water of a piece of ownership that I see. Ownership.
Flexibility.
Flexibility.
Flexibility. I am the lack thereof, stuck in a routine, unwillingly. Your status is fixed in a world where employers check for nobility, yet they never check for ability. See, I am the one that stresses utility. I am the box office failure that spawned a whole mess of trilogies. And yet, I never seem to learn my lesson. Hitting the snooze button every morning at 7, dreaming of my life at present. Lost in the jungle trying to figure out what's edible. Choosing the same poison fruit as amenable, yet wondering why my breath won't leaven. Subsequently, I wake up late at 8:30, wondering why my life still ain't working. Making the same light skin versus dark skin dinner jokes, wondering why they only eat red bones, claiming they semi-low, and these African queens ain't thirsty. So now I do as the Egyptian pharaohs when it's wrong. Statues may be carved in the image of ancient deities with no less humility, but the path to success is never so set in stone. You need flexibility.
Woo! Well told.
Hashtag Youth Success Week. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Let me see if I can get this. Here we go. Wide angle lens. There it is. Got it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crazy one. I see you in the back, Stephen. Come on, make some noise. Nice.
All right, let us get a picture. One more.
Woo! Nice. One more time. Big round of applause. Okay, we got it. We got it right here. Hands up like this. I can't hear you. Come in. Find the partner.
Okay, thank you so much. Boy, he's good, isn't he? He's good. Where's those t-shirt people again? Okay, so I teach identity development. And the reason I teach identity development is because I want you to be able to tell your story before they do. Most people will never be. It's impossible for them to be. And you know why? Because they will never know who they are. And there's only a small amount of people that will ever know who they are. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason we cannot move this dropout rate is because most people will never know who they are. They're stuck in a system that teaches you how to memorize, take tests, repeat information back. You get labeled with a grade. If I asked you what you learned as a student 2 weeks later, what would you say?
I don't know.
I don't know. So when you don't know who you are, what happens? When you don't know who you are, somebody else tells you. They tell your story before you do. When you don't know who you are, when you're a person and you don't know who you are,
someone will tell you who you are.
Somebody will tell you who you are. What happens when you don't know who you are?
Someone will tell you who you are.
Okay. What happens when you don't know who you are?
Someone will tell you who you are.
Okay. So, what happens, most people will only be average, ladies and gentlemen. They can only be average because they're stuck in a system where they get up in the morning, they wash their face. Then on Tuesday, they get up in the morning, they wash their face, you brush your teeth, get something to eat, get the kids out of school, work all day, come home, spend time with family, watch TV, go to bed, maybe they dream that's Tuesday. And then what do you think they do on Wednesday? They get up in the morning, they wash their face, you brush your teeth, get something to eat, get the kids out of school, work all day, come home, they have to spend time with family, watch TV, they go to bed, maybe they dream on Wednesday, on Thursday, what do they do? They get up in the morning, wash their face, brush your teeth, get something to eat, get the kids out of school, work all day, come home, they have to spend time with family, watch TV, they go to bed, maybe they dream on Thursday, and on Friday, what do they do? On Saturday, what do? They wash, they clean up, they get the kids off the activities, they go out Saturday night, Sunday, a lot of people go to church, they eat chicken dinners in the afternoon, they get ready for work on Monday, and all they do is work. That's the problem. They never get a chance to organize the community. Never get a chance to think about who they are, where they're going, and how they're going to do that, because they are workers. And the challenge, if you want to be able to tell your story before they do, you have to do what? You got to transform your mind from a follower's mindset, from a slave mindset to a leader. I don't know if you can do that. Because it's not set up for you to lead. This is why this doesn't happen around the country. Because there's no leadership. Everybody's following what? The people who are stuck in the office doing what? Tired because they are working and not thinking about how to empower their community. They're not even engaged. And the world says, I'm going to tell your story before you do, because you don't have the power to tell your story. So I'm going to define you by your race. And I'm going to give you a label. And that's going to be your story. I'm going to define you by your gender. And tell you that you can't make it because it's a man's world. And that's going to be your story. I'm going to define you by your family. I grew up with 2 disabled brothers in my family. Stuck on that. Defined by your history as opposed to your imagination. And the world defines you when you can't tell your story. And the world defines you by your house and your car and your money and your title. And I know some of y'all define me by my relationship. I know some of y'all said it. Who's speaking today? I think Oprah's man speaking right now. I'm sure y'all said it. Defined by even your relationship. And so, where's the freedom? The freedom is when you can tell the world, you're not going to tell my story anymore. I'm going to take education and information and knowledge, and I'm going to apply that information and knowledge to myself so I can empower myself, so I can move from a follower to a what? A leader of my own life. You can't tell my story anymore. Because I know this, everyone's equal because everybody has 24 hours. The question is what? How do you tell your story in that 24 hours? What do you do? What are your habits like? And so the ability to be able to do that is based on what? The most powerful word in the world. There's only 2 choices in the world, ladies and gentlemen. And the 8 keys have it. One of the keys is you got to be what? Positive as opposed to being negative. It's all about one word, ladies and gentlemen. It's about love. Word. That's all it's about. That's what this is about. This is a love movement. And love means what? Love means passion about your community. Love means care. Do you care about your community? Do you care about education? And so when you can apply love to your heart and soul, and you can take information, education, make it relevant to your heart and soul, transfer it to your mind so you can be a thinking human being, and then transfer that to the American Free Enterprise System so nobody tells you what to do. You can tell your own story every single day in the 24 hours that you have, which is what makes everyone equal. Everybody has 24 hours. The question is what? Do you know who you are? And can you control your own destiny and take charge of your own development so that you don't have to be a slave for the rest of your life and all you do is work, work, work. And you look back after 20 years, you say, you know what? I have no more in the end than I had in the beginning. Didn't have nothing in the beginning. I'm 60 years old and still don't have anything. And so it's about raising your consciousness. It's about what? Changing the way you think every single day so you can become a better person today than you were yesterday. It's like becoming the best you can be. And it's like Dr. King said. He said this, and I'll end with this. He said, even if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Handel and Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived the great street sweeper that swept her town be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub on the side of the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by the size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you.
So tell me if you think I'm wrong about this, because I'm willing to be wrong. I don't think I am, but I'm willing to be. Tell me if I think I'm wrong about this. Leadership has got nothing to do with your position or your title. Would you agree with that? And listen, I'll try to say this politely, but I've been working in the leadership development arena for 25 years, and I've worked with just about every kind of organization you can imagine, sometimes from top to bottom, on building cultures of leadership. And this is the polite part. I've met some people, lots of people over the years in my work that sit very prominently on their company's organizational chart, have very lofty and impressive sounding titles on their business cards, and yet, and this is the polite part, have a bit of work to do as far as their leadership goes, if you know what I mean. Now, the other side of this coin is far more important. I can't tell you how many people I've met over the years that have no positional authority whatsoever. They're not CEOs, they're not managers, they're not supervisors, they're not superintendents, they're not assistant principals. They're just there doing the work. Nobody reports to them, they're nobody's boss, and yet they're great leaders by virtue of who they are, what they do, how they live their lives, and ultimately their ability to influence the people around them to change their piece of the world for the better. This is the kind of person that I've come to call the extreme leader. And I believe that by virtue of your being here this afternoon, and by virtue of what you're going to be doing over the course of the next week, what we're all going to be doing together, everybody in this room qualifies for extreme leadership. Now let me explain what I mean. Extreme leadership is a bit of a redundant phrase. It's a bit of a repetitive phrase. There should be no reason to modify the word leadership with the word extreme. Because leadership, if we're really doing it, if we're not just calling ourselves leaders, if we're not posing as leaders, if we're not pretending to be leaders, but if we're really doing it, it's already an extreme act. Because leadership is about the act of transformation in some way or another, right? It's about, for example, taking nothing and turning it into something. It's about taking something good and turning it into something extraordinary. It's about stretching and growing our own skills and capabilities as human beings and doing that for the people around us, which is what an educator's job is, what an educator's mission is. This is already extreme stuff, right? So extreme leadership really is just another way of saying real leadership, the total opposite of the poser. Regardless of your age, regardless of your position, regardless of your title. And what it all comes down to is this word that Stedman mentioned a couple of minutes ago that I want to come back to over and over again because we can never emphasize it too much. That fundamentally, let me just preface this by saying that most of the work that I do in my professional life is with business people, with hardcore business people. Are we clear on that? So this is a message that I've shared with them over the years, and I share it with you again. Fundamentally, great leadership, extreme leadership, is about the practice of cultivating love. Now let's be honest about this. Most of us in the workaday world are not comfortable using the word love and business in the same sentence, right? It makes some people squirm. And not only is love not inappropriate, to use a double negative, in the context of work, it's at the very foundation of what great business is, and this is the very foundation of what leadership is, and it is at the foundation of what this initiative here in Oceanside is. If the Oceanside promise is not a tangible, measurable expression of love, then I don't know what is. we're just not used to thinking about it. You know, because I mean, on the one hand, we've heard this message a lot over the years and it's an important message, right? That you should pursue your passion, that you should do what you love, and the money will follow. You heard that phrase before? Is that true? I don't know. Maybe. I'd like to think it is, but I don't think it's some kind of mystical process where you do what you love and the money falls from the sky. Doing what you love is important. It hasn't happened yet. Perhaps it will. And for some people it does. And you know, we look at them and we say they're lucky. Well, maybe not. So doing what you love is at the foundation of all this, but it's not the whole story. So let me just wrap it up like this for you to begin thinking about today and applying to your work in the business community or your work as a student or your work as an educator. It's doing what you love in the service of people who love what you do. Do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. Doing what you love is important, but it's not the whole story, right? I mean, one could argue that criminals are doing what they love to. That doesn't qualify them for extreme leadership, as far as I'm concerned. So doing what you love is the raw material. It's the connection of your heart to your work, of your heart to your cause, of your heart to your mission. But you're not just doing it because you love it. You're using that love to give great value and service to other human beings. So in the service of people it's the moral context, for one thing. If all I'm doing is what I love and I don't really care about the impact on anybody else, it's just another description of narcissism, right? So I'm doing what I love in the service of you. And not just to serve you because I know I'm supposed to, or to serve you because I feel obliged to in some way, or to do it in some minimal way that I can just check it off my list and move on, but to serve you in such a significant way that the result, the impact, the experience that you have in part is to love me back, is to love me for it. Do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. That's what CASE is about. That's what the Oceanside Promise is about. And that is what Youth Success Week is about. And let me just add one other little, I think, too often overlooked nuance to all of this. We tend to think of the future of our youth being in the hands solely of our educators and being in the hands of the parents. And that's all true. And educators, teachers are some of my greatest heroes and should be for everybody in this room. But we would also suggest, those of us who've been involved in CASE, we'd also suggest that it certainly doesn't stop there. That if we really want to create an environment that our youth are going to be tremendously successful and go on to live lives that will influence the world for the better for the rest of us, that it's the job of everybody in the community, including the business community. I mean, can you imagine a typical business owner in Oceanside who has maybe a storefront downtown, looking out on the street and seeing a gaggle of teenagers walking by, and that owner thinking to him or herself, there is the future of our city, of our country, of the world, and I'm passionately committed to making those kids as successful as possible. Even though my kids may have graduated and gone on years ago, it's still my responsibility to make that happen. Steve Jobs put it beautifully in a speech that he gave to the graduating class of Stanford in 2005. He said, the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. So let's do great work this week. Thank you.
And please welcome to the stage Elise Bridges, who you want to make a difference.
And 35 years ago, I was going through a divorce and feeling pretty low and suicidal. And when I left my husband, I thought I wanted to do something to make a difference. Suddenly, I just had a vision. And I created a blue ribbon, and I went up and I started to tell people how much I loved them. And I cheered them on for their dreams. And the only reason I did it in those days is because I needed to be loved. And wherever I went, everybody was complaining about something. what's so exciting about this moment in time is I wrote down, never give up on your dreams. Don't ever let anybody say you can't do it. I said I had a blue ribbon, and I said I want to create a world where everybody is honored, appreciated, and loved, and has a blue ribbon on them above their heart. Now there's 40 million people around the world that have that ribbon, and we're going for 1 billion now. Marlene said I was too small, thinking about 300,000 in the year 2020. Marlene, right here. Parenting 2.0, and she said in my house, she said, didn't you think 300,000? And I said, yes. She said, too small. I came from our K's group, by the way, who helped me get to the next level. And you said 1 billion. It has to be 1 out of every 7 tipping point. It is the community. I want to acknowledge Dwayne. And I want to say Stedman and Bobby, what you guys did for me, I'm like, okay, and Neville, where are you? Neville? Right there, Neville, yes. Okay, and all the people I haven't said anything to yet. There's a lot. But what happened is we got together and we didn't know what the vision would look like. Stedman came and he had a vision of the community. To bring the whole community together. We all just sat and went, huh? Seriously. And we really didn't know. Each of us knew our work. But we didn't know how to make this all come together for everybody. For every child, every parent, every business person, every neighbor, everybody, no matter what, and get them into college and their careers. And I mean, it's a big conversation. We spent 3 years on this. It's not fast food. It wasn't. It was crazy time. But I have to tell you that when I listened to you, yes, we had our little fights. Yes, we did. So. Yeah, he's pretty tall, but we were able to stand up and speak for ourselves, yes? And then all of a sudden, Neville, you told me to meet with Dwayne, Superintendent Dwayne, remember? It was you. And then Dwayne, you came to the meeting, an organizing meeting with about 10 of us, and I just said, hey, I'm supposed to meet with you because Neville said so. Before that, the superintendent would scare the bejeebies out of me. This is truth. I have a ribbon, and everybody said, this is a crazy wacko woman. Get her out of here. Yeah, seriously, okay? But that's not what you said. You said, let's go to lunch at Swami's. We had salad at Swami's. A superintendent with me at Swami's having a salad. I thought I would just lose. That's it. I was complete. I knew something good was going to happen. There's got to be love in that kind of food. But something occurred. And what occurred was this man hears a dream and he understands. He listens. He connects from his heart. And we had a moment in time where you said, I love the vision you have about everybody being honored with the blue ribbon. And let's see if we can do that, but we first have to have the principals say, yes, maybe it's a good idea, why don't you speak to them? You gave me that chance. Bobby, if it wasn't for you, by the way, I did speak to the principals, and they all loved this idea of having their kids involved in a whole community building. And Bobby, every single day, almost for the last 4 or 5 months, we've been on the emails with each other. Thousands and thousands and thousands of details have to go into everything that's happened. And that was just you and I, that wasn't the whole team. And then my dream, that many years ago, was that I wrote it down. I said, I want to hang around the greatest people on the planet. I never by Chick-fil-A and Domino's. And it came from, where's Dante? Dante right there got me in touch with Domino's and made that happen. And Ken dropped right here, contacted Ken Blanchard, and they talked to Chick-fil-A, and they got it. And what happened this week? How do you like them apples? I had my first Chick-fil-A yesterday. It was really good. So here's what I want to kind of give to us. What I learned by honoring people in the moment was to look at what was working instead of what isn't, because it's old stuff. To focus on the problems, but look at it and ignite what's right. Stand on the shoulders of each person's greatness. Look people in the eyes. See their beauty. Tell them who you are makes a difference. I believe in your dreams. Not like you're crazy and dumb, but that you can do it, no matter what. If you don't have a ribbon, just hold the vision with them and cheer them on. Say, I believe in you. How can I help you? What do you need? And if you have a connection, just connect people to each other. So we're not standing alone anymore trying to figure this out. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, and I did this yesterday with the kids. Would you just hold your body proud for a moment and put your hand to your heart? And from your heart, through your eyes, send me love. And with your love, collectively, I send it back to you. And today is the beginning of a movement that will reach every kid in every school, and every parent, and every teacher, and every business person, and every neighbor of every race, creed, color, everybody, that they will look at each other and know and say, who you are makes a difference. I believe in you. Go for your dreams. You can count on me. I love you.
We started this 3 years ago, and the backstory of what it's like, picture for a second, putting the leaders of the world together, each one of them visionary, each one of them having their own country or brand, their own leadership, and put them all in a room for 3 years. That's what we've done. You've met a couple of the players who've been involved in this incredible laboratory, this incredible experiment of what it's like when you put leaders in a room who are willing to get out of their own way, who are willing to find common ground, and who are willing to hold a vision together and learn from each other about exactly what it takes to get results, exactly what it takes to create youth success, with all of our differences to find those common ground. That's what this has been about. As we talked about Youth Success Week, we knew that there had to be somebody at the table. That every successful school, organization, community has who at the table? Everything involving kids. Who has to be at the table? Mom and dad have to be at the table. That's the formula for success. There has to be a mother and a father. I was blessed. If you said, Ken, what's the greatest blessing of your life? I would tell you that the greatest blessing in my life has been being raised by 2 daughters. Now, I got some help. 30 years ago, Bobby DePorter was here. When this was all much smaller, she's now all over the world helping families, inspiring parents. But I sent my daughters to super camp, and it changed their lives forever. My daughter Jenna grew up. At age 15, she decided Dad, girls have to learn how to become a leader in their own life. Those were her words. It's part of what she had learned from Super Camp, part of what she had learned from coming on stage with a dad, giving programs like the Parent Report Card, and things like that. My daughter Jenna, at age 21, said, Dad, I've got to go out and see the world. I've got to find out. I know the world's bigger than California. She had been selected as one of 40 future leaders in America and attended in college the President's Leadership Institute. And she was a remarkably young woman. But Jenna's life ended at 21 in that study abroad program. And it became, for the last 20 years, it will be 20 years that she passed in India. And for 20 years, I've honored Jenna by continuing some of the work that she started in the world, helping kids become leaders in their own lives, especially girls. She said, Dad, if this is the best we can do in teaching girls, we're not doing very good. And then she grew to know and understand that it was the same with boys. So when we conceptualized Youth Success Week and putting together an amazing week for the community of Oceanside and starting this ball rolling, because all of us look around, even if we look around, we realize this is a beginning today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to personally challenge everybody here to bring 3 people either this week or at the closing. I have a vision of this room being full next Sunday because so many people's lives have been touched by what happened this week. I want a room full of kids, maybe some of those 750. I want parents. I want you to tell people that next Saturday there's a program, we call it the Parent Palooza. It is a smorgasbord of some of the most inspiring speakers talking about everything that it takes to become your best self as a parent. Parenting is one of the most amazing journeys that we can have in this life. Right? And kids, raising a parent is one of the most challenging things you'll ever have to do. Because we're making it up as we go. Right? And thank goodness you have patience with us, and you mentor us, and you teach us humility, and you teach us that control is an illusion. Yes, that's the big thing you teach us. So, what I want you to do is to tell everybody that the most amazing parent workshops that this community will hold all year are being offered for free next Saturday. And I want you to tell every parent that they're not going to want to miss it. You don't want to be there on Monday with everybody saying, oh, you should have been there. You really should have been there. It was amazing. We had some of these inspiring speakers. And please, come up, Roman, come up. Come up, Starla, for a second. I want to give you just a 30-second sample play
about what it's like to be a parent. Okay? And I'll talk a lot about, I'm a parent educator, and I'll talk a lot about what it is to raise a parent and what your kids are going through. That's going to be my program. I want to invite you guys to share, what is your program going to be?
Parenting in the 21st century, every single adult is part of the parental generation. And we are so excited that every one of us has the hardwired curriculum of loving ourselves and others. We are going to be discussing the skills that we need to succeed in this curriculum in the 21st century. They are different than they were 100 years ago. But we are so excited to share our ideas and thoughts of, and just to have this honorable responsibility of supporting everyone and loving self and others.
I teach a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I only teach one thing. And it's been talked about today, so I'm so glad I'm in balance and harmony. And that is love. So I'm going to be talking about life mastery and how to use love to address every issue in your life. I gave birth to 3 children, but thousands call me Mama Starla. And that's because at the end of the day, they're all our children.
Word.
And I'm going to speak on who I am makes a difference, and bringing the parents to share their dreams with their children, and their children to share their dreams with their parents, and have everyone supported from the heart and saying, yes, I know you can do it. Who you are makes a difference. I believe in you.
Who else is going to be presenting? We have one or two others.
Shimmy K. King, she is on a tour right now, but she has the top parenting book in Canada called The Dolphin Parenting, and she's really fabulous.
So raise your hand if you know a parent who might benefit from spending the morning. And by the way, it's also going to be funny. I mean, it's going to be irreverent, it's going to be funny. We're going to be answering questions. We're going to be talking about every feel the weight of today. All right, so raise your hand. How many over there think there's a parent? Anybody got a parent that might benefit? All right, so you guys committed to helping us fill the room next Saturday, getting the word out, because who do we need at the table? If this is going to work, if we're going to create a national model, we need parents at the table. Yes? So let's turn what starts as you into what by next Sunday is a we. Okay? All right.
Start their sentences with, I'm so excited to be here. So I'll change it because I mean it. I can't think of a better way to have spent the last 3 years of my life than to have been involved in a historical movement like what we all are experiencing right now this evening. You see, the success of our youth is not just important, it's an essential piece to the success of the rest of this world. See, what I love about what all the 8 P's stand for and what Stephanie just shared with us today is that knowing your identity is more than just important, it's an essential piece to being successful. See, I stand before you right now at 42 years old, and I didn't know my identity until August a few months ago at 42 years old. See, in August I took this test. It was like a talent dynamic test. You know these kind of tests that they give you in school to tell you about your personality and the things that you're really, really great at. I took this test and the results came back to me. The results that came back to me showed me something about myself that I had never seen before. It showed me something about myself that I never realized before. And yet, with all of that, I stand before you today on behalf of Motivating the Teen Spirit for the last 17 years of my life. I've been dedicated as the director of a program that was created by another wonderful woman named Lisa Nichols. And on behalf of her, I can stand here today. While I didn't know my identity all of these years, I've been a major key part in the results that Motivating the Teen Spirit has had in our world. See, we are a worldwide company in your backyard. We are from your community. Yet we go to Russia, China, Tokyo, Africa, just came back from Jamaica, on my way to Mexico on Saturday, or I will be here with you guys. And with all of that, to date, we have touched the lives of over 260,000 youth and families over the last 17 years. Yes. We have prevented over 6,550 youth suicides. We have put back in school districts around the world over 2,558 students who were considering dropping out or they had dropped out. And we stopped counting the number of families that we put together over the last 17 years. Now, I've been able to be a part of all of that without knowing my identity. When I recognized what others were calling and me, they would call me Sparkle, they would call me Hollywood, they had all these labels for me. They were telling my story before I could tell it. And they were giving me labels that I didn't understand. And the minute I understood my identity, which was only a few months ago, I
choice to move into success. And today I stand here in my wonderful identity and in my success as a part of Youth Success Week, representing this week with the rest of our team, what is known as emotional literacy. Emotional literacy. How was I able to move through all of those challenges and stand here before you today as a director of such a large program that reaches across the world? See, there's some purpose in my identity. See, while I was making all of that something wrong with me, it's all to do with what's right about me. Because it is what qualifies me to be a part of Youth Success Week. It's not my education. Yeah, I graduated from San Diego State. I was able to put myself through school. I've touched the lives of a number of programs and created them for the county of San Diego, but none of that matters. You know what matters? That I'm walking and living in my identity and in my purpose, because I know that I'm not just leaving a legacy, but I'm changing a legacy. So this week, we will help change legacies of the Oceanside School District by doing what we call emotional literacy. Who gives you the skills to deal with the pressures of life? Where are you going to learn? Think about it for a moment. All of us in here, think about it. So our school district does a great job of giving us the literacies. Math has a literacy, science has a literacy, history has a literacy, geography has a literacy. But the one literacy that's missing in the recipe of success is emotional literacy. It's emotional literacy. How do I deal with my parents breaking up and getting a divorce? Where the heck do I find that skill set? How do I have the skill set to shift from a negative conversation into a powerful conversation? How do I have this? Who teaches me the skill set to live the 8 keys? I can memorize them. But what happens when I'm standing by myself and there's no parents around, no teachers around, and you all are not around, and I'm up against one of the biggest challenges of my life? How do I have that skill set inside that tells me to press pause on my negative conversation and press play on the powerful and move forward despite my environment? So this week, it is with pleasure that I get to share the classrooms with Matt, with Lynn, who all are part of Motivating Teen Spirit. We cannot do this by ourselves. We have an amazing team. We have students from Cal State San Marcos joining us. If you see us, we all have our t-shirts on all week. And I want to not just take up all this time, but let you know who else on our team are going to be with you and how Motivating the Teen Spirit has helped them in their lives. So Matt, Gill.
So I'm excited, but I'm also so blessed because I look at my journey. I was in youth leadership. On the outside, looked like I had everything all together for the longest time. But on the inside, there was something that was always hurting. And I didn't know what it was. And I didn't know how to put my words, or the feelings that I was having, into words. I didn't know how to express the pressure, the pain, the hurt, the frustration. I didn't know how to share that other than being angry. And it wasn't until I came into Motivating the Teen Spirit that I learned that there's other ways of managing what's happening up here. And really connecting from here right into my heart. And so what I love about what we're going to do this week is we're going to be able to put those conversations out, remove them from here, be able to learn strong ways of communicating, of connecting with who we truly are, and being able to stand powerfully and stand in our greatness. And Motivating the Teen Spirit truly did shift my life. It shifted me to stand in my greatness, to stand in my power, and to know that I'm not my mistakes. But those mistakes were specifically designed to be able to stand in a room, to stand right here, right now. So I thank you guys. I can't wait for this week. I feel so blessed. And now I'd like to turn the mic to Lynn.
For the last couple of years. MTS, I'm going to say what MTS has done for me personally. I'm actually right now in real time using a couple skills that said, okay, I'll take the mic rather than just be like, no, you go ahead and I'll support this Tia said, it gives you the skills. It actually helps you take accountability and ownership when someone harms you, or when that failure feels overwhelming and you're like, how is this at all a success? And how to actually practice and be love daily. So that's what MTS is about. I'm really excited because I feel like more people need to know about it, and especially this audience, it's here in your backyard. So you can access it and tell more people. So I'll be looking forward to meeting more people every week. Thank you.
Thank you all. So thank you to Kay, Bobby, and Steven, and all of us that have been a part of this for the last 3 years. We are that missing recipe. Youth Success Week, that model is the missing recipe in the success of the rest of this education system. So thank you all. Thank you for being here.
gotta